In this video, I will share with you some psychological secrets that you have never heard of before, which will not only make anyone in this world like and admire you, but will also make them obsessed with you. I will explain to you, step by step, how to become the center of attention for the people around you. What I will explain to you today can be used either to make yourself the most important person in your environment, whether at school or work, or you can use it to manipulate people, making them fulfill your needs and turning anyone into just a toy in your hands. Therefore, I am not responsible for how you choose to use the knowledge I will provide in this video. First, you need to understand the difference between someone who likes you and someone who is obsessed with you. If you have been following the social skills series, you already know how to make anyone like you. However, making someone obsessed with you, addicted to you, and eagerly waiting for the next opportunity to talk to you requires learning a specific skill called triggering weak points. Every human being on this planet has 4 weak points, and in 99% of people, at least one of these points is significantly stronger than the others. All you need to do is identify that weak point and use it to your advantage. The way to discover that weak point is, first, learning how to detect it during a conversation, and second, being aware of what these weak points actually are. Once you combine these 2 elements, you will find yourself knowing exactly how to hit the most sensitive nerve of any person and make them obsessed with you. Let's start with the first step: how to detect a person's weak points while talking to them. Human behavior is like a straight line. It sometimes rises and sometimes falls, but every now and then, something happens that we call a spike. When this spike occurs, know that you have hit a sensitive nerve. What do I mean when I say spike? And what do I mean by this line in the first place? While talking to someone, you will notice that when they speak, their tone of voice is normal, their speech speed is normal, their attention is normal, and their presence is normal. Everything is just normal. However, sometimes if you make them laugh or bring up a topic that grabs their attention, you will notice a slight change in their behavior. But in some cases, you may see a significant increase in their emotional response. That's when you know a spike has happened. Or if they say something and then repeat it again, meaning they say a phrase or sentence twice. This repetition often happens when they don't get the reaction they were hoping for from you. When a spike occurs, or when you hear them repeating something twice, try to observe whether these things are directly related to them personally. If these conditions are met, pay close attention, because you may have found a gap in their defenses, an opening where you can cast your net. That gap represents an internal deficiency they are subconsciously waiting for someone to fill. And now it's time to talk about the different types of weak points, because once you recognize them, you'll be able to pinpoint the void that a person suffers from just by listening to them talk about it. Almost like having a radar. This will make it much easier for you to identify their weaknesses. I will explain each one of these points to you and show you how to exploit them and use them to your advantage. The first weak point, the thirst for validation. Everyone likes to feel appreciated, but some people develop an excessive thirst for validation. Identifying this trait is very easy. You will notice that this person constantly tries to prove they are special and seeks admiration from those around them. They might frequently talk about their achievements, retell stories of moments where they acted impressively, or brag about how they managed to attract a beautiful girl and keep her interested. Generally, this type of person likes to feel in control of their social circle, so give them this feeling from time to time. Let them decide where you eat and where you drink. Now, the bait you can use to make them attached to you is praise, but the praise must be given correctly and intelligently in a way that affects their subconscious mind. Don't go directly to them and say, "Your style is nice," or "You look great." That's the wrong way to give praise. By the way, this type of direct compliment is useless. If you use it, you'll just seem like you're sucking up, and you should never use it with anyone. So, let me explain to you how praise should be given to anyone. Praise should always be indirect. You must make the person feel praised, not just hear it from you. Let's take an example. Go up to them, start a conversation, and ask them about something specific, or seek their advice on a problem you have. Of course, it could be a made-up problem, but personally, I don't recommend faking it. When they answer and give you a solution, look at them and say, "Wow, you're absolutely right. I don't know how I didn't think of that before." With this response, they will feel intellectually superior, and at the same time, they will feel like they've helped you and provided you with value. In this case, you didn't directly compliment them, but they felt praised, indirectly and unexpectedly. Another example, let's say it's known that this person likes running. One day, talk to them and ask, "When you go for a run, how many miles do you usually run?" They will answer 6 miles. Now, pay close attention. I'm about to give you a golden secret that you should remember for life. In this case, there are 2 ways to give praise. The wrong way is to say, "Wow, 6 miles? That's a lot. How do you do it?" That is direct praise, but it's ineffective. Its effect disappears immediately. They might feel happy for a second, but within 5 minutes, they'll completely forget what you said. The correct way to praise them is this. When they tell you 6 miles, stay silent. Don't say anything and don't react. react. Then, most likely, especially if they have a thirst for validation, they will ask you, why do you ask? You then say, the other day Henry and I were talking about you and we were debating whether you could run 6 miles without stopping. He told me 6 miles is a really big number. At that exact moment, when you say this, it will hit them like lightning. First, they will feel validated because you acknowledge that 6 miles is a big number. Second, they will feel appreciated because they heard that you and someone else were talking about them. This way, you have praised them indirectly, and you will make them think about this conversation all day, or maybe even for days and days. The last type of praise is joking about something good in them or something they are proud of. For example, imagine they are very tall. You can joke with them and say, how's the weather up there? This way, you're making a joke, but at the same time, you're reinforcing something they take pride in, which is their height. Or let's say you were out together and they talked to a beautiful girl and got her number. Instead of saying directly, wow man, you got her number, wait for a while, then bring up the topic again and start joking about it in a fun way. Say something like, dude, how did you even pull that off? And make sure to laugh while saying it. Try this next time and you'll notice that they will start laughing a lot. In short, the first weak point people have is the thirst for validation. The bait you can use is praise, but it must be indirect praise. And by the way, people with this weak point are the easiest to manipulate, so please don't be one of them. And now we move on to the second weak point, the fear of failure. If someone has a very big goal, such as getting into a highly competitive university, securing a difficult job, or being accepted into a music band, meaning they have a goal that could completely change their life 180 degrees, this type of person will hear a lot of positive words and encouragement along the way. However, no matter how confident they are, there will always be an internal voice reminding them that failure is possible. This voice acts like a hammer, slowly digging a hole inside them, and if you manage to fill that hole, you will become like a drug they depend on. Imagine someone taking a web development course, dreaming of becoming a developer at a big company, succeeding in his field, and earning a high salary. Rest assured that wherever he goes, if he tells someone about his dream, that person will always say something like, wow, that's great, you can do it, just don't give up. When you talk to him and he shares this topic with you, your goal is to make him express his fears of failure in achieving his dream. And look, without any effort, if you are just a good listener and apply what I've taught you in the previous videos, he will naturally start talking about his fear of failure. And this is where your weapon comes into play. Most people, when they hear someone talking about their problems, immediately try to offer solutions or start giving advice. But this is the wrong approach to exploit this weak point. The best way to handle this situation is through emotional reassurance and lifting their spirits. So, how do you do that? Listen to me carefully now. Reassurance is the bait that hooks this weak point. So how should reassurance be given? First, you should not give advice, and you should not try to solve their problem or tell them what to do. Advice should only be given when asked for. Let me explain this part because it is extremely important before we move on to how to provide reassurance. When someone talks to you about a problem, there are 3 types of responses, and each situation requires a different approach. First scenario, if they are seeking advice, this means they are directly asking for your opinion or requesting guidance. For example, they might say, I'm too skinny and I want to gain weight. Do you know any way to do that? In this case, it's clear that they are asking for a solution, so your response should be to help them find one. Second scenario, if they are just venting about a past problem. This happens when they tell you about a bad experience, a sad story, or a problem that has no real solution. For example, if someone tells you, my boss treats me terribly at work. Here, you should simply listen. Do not offer solutions, do not act uninterested, and do not try to change the subject. Just listen. Think about it. Does he really not know that he should quit his job? Or that he should confront his boss? Of course he knows. So don't treat people like they're stupid. Most of the time, what you would suggest is something they already know. Third scenario, if they are talking about a problem related to their emotions. For example, he wants to change his job, but he hasn't found an alternative yet and is feeling stressed and uncertain about the future. Or any similar case where the problem is not just logical, but emotional. Since this video is focused on the fear of failure, let's stick to that. This type of problem, the correct way to handle it is through reassurance. How do you give proper reassurance? The first step is listening. Let's go back to the web development example. This person opens up about his fear of failure and starts telling you how worried he is. At first, stay silent. Let him talk. Then, once he finishes, you offer hope. And this is the key principle of reassurance. Listen first, then provide hope. So how do you give someone hope? There are many ways, but the best and most effective method is to tell them stories of people who were in the same situation, or even worse, and still succeeded. For example, you could say, my cousin was in the same position as you, and now he's an engineer at Microsoft. He was just like you, and honestly, he wasn't even working as hard as you are right now. He might respond, but I'm exhausted, and there are so many programming languages I need to learn, and I just don't understand them well enough. You can then reply, I get it. My cousin felt the same way. He also didn't understand any anything at first, but little by little, he got the hang of it. Eventually, it all made sense to him. And real stories versus fake stories. It's up to you. Now, these stories can be real people that you actually know, or they can be completely made up. I don't care. That's up to you and your own principles. I'm not here to tell you how to use this information. That's your decision. The third weak point, psychological trauma. Psychological traumas are numerous and highly varied, and I can't cover them all in a single video. However, I will talk about one of the most common psychological traumas among young men. When a man gets rejected by a woman, he should not get upset, even if he is the most attractive and desirable man in the world. On top of that, the reasons for rejection might not even be related to the man's attractiveness in the first place. The reasons might be about the woman herself, but people don't seem to understand this. So when a man gets rejected, he keeps thinking about it, and this is the perfect opportunity for you to step in, because rejection makes a man feel like he is not enough. It makes him feel like there is something wrong with his appearance, his personality, his financial status, and so on. When you know someone who has been rejected, you need to convince him of one of two things. Either that the problem is with the woman, or that he is far better than that woman. But as I told you earlier, you should not do this directly. You don't just go up to him and say, "You're better than her," or "The problem is in her, not you." You need to make him come to this conclusion himself. So, how do you do that? There are two possibilities. Either he is single, or he is already in a relationship. If he is single, you can say something like, "That girl was in a relationship for 6 years. Her boyfriend promised to marry her, but in the end, he married someone else. And now she's depressed and taking antidepressants." Or you could say, "Even Bob tried talking to her, and she rejected him too." And of course, Bob should be someone known for being successful with women. The key here is to present facts that make it clear that the issue is with her, not him. Now, if he is in a relationship, then you can say something like, "The girl you're with now is so much better than the one who rejected you. She has a better personality, she looks better," and so on. By doing this, you will make him feel like his value is rising, and he will realize that his rejection by that girl had nothing to do with it. He will understand that the psychological trauma he is feeling is completely meaningless. Anyway, let's move on to the last weak point, the thirst for sex. This is something you cannot exploit as a man, but I will explain it to you now so that you understand it and protect yourself from it. A woman does not experience this thirst the way a man does, because whenever she wants sex, it is available to her. Whereas you as a man do not have that privilege. So if you ever talk to a woman, she can use this thirst against you and manipulate you. As a woman, she holds an apple that you would die to have, and she can make you chase her and do anything for her, but she will never give it to you. She will keep you chasing her, and the moment she feels that you're about to give up, she will let you have just a small taste, and then she will pull it away again, making you continue chasing her. Knowing this will protect you from being manipulated by a woman one day. Now, let me explain something very important that you must understand if you want to be successful in your social relationships. This is connected to everything I have told you since the beginning of this video about how to make people obsessed with you. When you talk to someone and hit their weak points, it's like you are giving them a drug. But like any drug, its effect wears off. Their brain returns to its normal state, and they start craving more of that drug, and their brain associates that drug with you. So without realizing it and without being aware of it, they will start wanting to talk to you again and wanting to meet you again. They become addicted to you without even understanding why this is happening. And with that, we have finished this video.